I'm not sure if you're familiar with the internet or TV, but if you are, you've probably seen this that happened a few days ago on Fox News.
In the first presidential debate, China was mentioned 12 times. So we sent Waters down to New York's Chinatown to sample political opinion.
Okay, first of all, let me get this straight. They say China in the debate, so you go to Chinatown in New York. So when they mention Mexico, do you send someone to Taco Bell? Chinatown is nothing like China. They got nothing to do with each other. That's like if they brought up women's rights, so I decided to go over to Fox News to get some opinions. Now, as dumb as that premise is, it is nothing compared to the idiocy that followed. And by the way, we haven't added anything to this. This is the original footage from Fox News. Am I supposed to bow to say hello?
你好，你好。
I like these watches. Are they hot?
JC Penney 398.
Who are you going to vote for?
Clinton wife.
Clinton's wife has a name. What is it?
Oh man, unforget it.
Snap out of it.
Do you know karate?
Yeah, I know.
Hit my hand. Oh, that's the spot. Is it the year of the dragon? Rabbit? No, it's actually the year of go yourself. What the hell was that? How was that on the news? In fact, how was that even on TV? Where the did this come from? I mean, everyone's been wondering who'd be the target of 2016's worst racism. I didn't even know Asians were in the running. Oh, and by the way, if you're gonna be racist, at least get your stereotypes right, you ignorant sack of Karate isn't Chinese, it's Japanese. And you're doing it in a taekwondo studio, which is Korean, you jack off, jack on, jack off, jack on, jack off. This guy. And seriously, Mr. Miyagi, update your reference material. That's like me making fun of Americans for Saturday Night Fever and Mr. T. Yeah, real topical stuff, buddy. If you want to come at Chinese people, make fun of China's high pollution or the fact that they censor most of the internet, which in this case might actually be a good thing, since no person from China will ever have to watch your garbage attempt at comedy. Donald Trump beating up on China at the debate. Trump has been beating up on China. How does that make you feel?
Speak! Why don't you speak?
Hey, asshole, they don't speak English. That's why they're silent. It's easy to make fun of someone when they can't respond. Here, I'll show you. Hey, douchebag, why do you look like a guy who carries around a pack of roofies just in case? And why do you look like you have hookers on speed dial? Oh, and follow-up question, is it hard to fit Bill O'Reilly's entire scrotum in your mouth? This might come as a surprise, but Chinese Americans do actually have genuine thoughts on this year's election. That's why I went to Chinatown to speak to people in a language they understood. Human.
美国总统大选，你有什么意见？
是很特别，因为我们有一个观念，就是美国有自己的本身的一个注重外面来的移民的这个欢迎的这种态度，这不像我们认識的這幾年的美國。
其實呢一屆嘅美國總統大選咧，兩個都係廢物。咁啊，求其咪揀咗，好多人咧求其揀一個，我咧就選擇自己寫個名落去 Alfred E. Newman。
Wait, you understand American politics enough to lodge a protest vote?
Definitely.
因为现在美国对这个中美关系看得很重要。以前我们每次说中国是个朋友，现在他们都是说一个 adversary， 那这个很危险嘛。
为什么你懂美国政治方面？
I'm from Queens.
What are your thoughts on the Jesse Waters video on Fox News?
The chicken reporter who came down here and thought he was big because he talked to people who couldn't speak English.
Yeah, that douchebag piece of
The one who was sent here by the larger chicken who couldn't come to Chinatown because he was afraid to do it himself. You mean that one?
Yeah, that guy.
The one with no testicles. The one who came down here who said, let me talk to some old people and let me put them on camera without asking them and sort of put them on national television and made fun of them in the worst possible way. That asshole.
Okay, I think we're talking about the same guy.
Right. What was the question again?
I can't even remember.
We joke a lot in the show, but this was a piece that, you know, it was what we call in the Daily Show offices a quick turn. This is where the news breaks, and rather than go through a formal booking, no. Ronny was like, yo, where's the camera? I'm going to Chinatown. Just for the people who don't know, who've missed a piece, give me the backstory on what lit this fire so fast from the time this piece aired on Fox News. I think our response aired maybe 36 hours later, if that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So once things hit the zeitgeist in American news, then it starts to enter the building a bit. And the underlying story, which was the Fox News story, was actually causing so much grief in America that it hit the pop culture zeitgeist, and then that entered the building, to be fair, it already entered the building the day before, but it started building overnight to the point where the Daily Show had to address it. We decided to go to Chinatown to get the response of people from that neighborhood who were interviewed, the same neighborhood that was interviewed in the Fox News segment. And we went down, and I was worried that because in Singapore and Malaysia, people get really apathetic about politics, and they're very hesitant to be on screen, talking about politics. So I didn't know if that would be the same thing we would face in New York City, Chinatown. But what we found, the entire Daily Show team found, was that it was the exact opposite. Because as soon as we got to New York City, Chinatown, people, literally as soon as we got out of the car and I was dressed in the suit, and they as soon as they saw me, they're like, hey, are you here to talk about that thing that happened yesterday? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, come over here. And then they brought us to the place in Chinatown, and people lined up around the block to talk to us. They lined up. So it was like,
that doesn't happen normally.
Yeah, people don't normally line up to talk to us. So I was just standing there as people came one after the other to come and bitch about what happened yesterday.
What are your thoughts on the Jesse Waters video on Fox News?
The chicken reporter who came down here and thought he was big because he talked to people who couldn't speak English.
Yeah, that douchebag piece of
The one with no testicles. The one who came down here who said, let me talk to some old people and let me put them on camera without asking them, and sort of put them on national television and made fun of them in the worst possible way. That asshole.
Okay, I think we're talking about the same guy.
Right. What was the question again?
I can't even remember.
The whole idea behind the piece was that, and this came from Trevor, was the idea that just because people aren't speaking your language, whatever your language is, doesn't mean they don't have sophisticated thoughts on politics and the way the country should be run. So that was the idea we were doing in Chinatown, which was trying to get their opinions. And in many cases, we kind of asked them to speak Chinese or Cantonese just to make the point that you can have sophisticated thoughts in languages other than English.
因为现在美国对这个中美关系看得很重要。以前我们每次说中国是个朋友，现在他们都是说一个 adversary， 那这个很危险嘛。
为什么你懂美国政治方面？
I'm from Queens.
Yeah, the response was, it required almost no effort on our part. The streets did the talking on that one.
You're a more Zen dude than me. But the thing that I found most interesting about this piece for you was the lack of anger from you as a correspondent. That's the thing I'm always suppressing. Like, dude, when I'm out, like when we did the Republican National Convention 2016 and we did the piece, When Was America Great? And I'm having to look at people, look me in my black ass eyes and tell me America was great during slavery. And I'm trying not to So when you went down to Chinatown on a piece as an Asian, was this personal? Was this a more personal piece for you?
Yeah. I mean, it felt like a direct personal attack, but at the same time, at the Daily Show, the drill, man. It's like we're like in the emergency room. It's like we see so much crap every day that in order to operate professionally, you become kind of desensitized, and you're just here to treat the patients. And so we just keep seeing car crashes every single day. Eventually, you're like, oh yeah, like you have an objective view of it. And also, I was pretty pissed going back to the studio. And I remember we brought the footage back, and this is, again, speaks to the team at the Daily Show, is that we went out to shoot, went back, edited,
whatever we shot, wrote the Des piece and on the same night, right? And we recorded it the same night. Like field pieces are usually separate to Des pieces, but this was like the perfect merging of chat with Trevor and a Des piece and a field element and man on the street all in one day. I mean, for me, and this is early on in my Daily Show. I was maybe 1 year in. And I was like, man, this is the Daily Show at its best. Everyone's operating and firing on all cylinders in a very short time frame. And sorry, to answer your question about not being pissed off, I mean, part of it is the job. And part of it is, I always feel like, because I'm a first generation immigrant to America, so I'm in America because by choice, like I want to be there. And so when I see shit go down, I also see, in this particular instance, yeah, you can say, blatant racism, but the silver lining to this whole story was that everyone got angry by this Fox News piece. Not just Asian people, not just Chinatown, New York City people. The entire country was like, yo, this sucks. And that's why it entered the zeitgeist, right? Because if most people thought it was okay, it would never have, blown up to the point where, at that time, people were pretty upset. Everyone, white people were upset. Every race was pretty upset about this. So if you ask me why I'm not more upset, it's because, it was a cause that everyone already, most people were upset by the issue already. And we were just giving them a platform to express it,